5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's time to count down reality TV's most talked about moments with Amanda Bella. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Bella Talks TV. This is Amanda Bella, and it's so great to be back potting from New York. It's such a different vibe here. If you've been following me, you know that I just moved back to New York from Florida because we were there for the winter. We were snowbirding. And, we had to come back. It's time for us to, we're going to be full-time New Yorkers now. And I am excited about that, actually, to finally put a little bit of some roots down here. We're going to be buying a house and things are going to be changing a lot for us. We're going to be hopefully not, I feel like we're always traveling. We're actually getting ready to go on our 1-year anniversary trip from our wedding, which is insane. I feel like I was just talking about my wedding on here a year ago. I cannot believe it's been almost a year. April 6th is our 1-year anniversary. So we're actually doing a cruise and we're going to be going to a couple different destinations, which I think is exciting to knock out 3. It's been a couple of weeks because we've been moving and things have been crazy. And if you're also joining me on my YouTube and you see the video, you'll see that I did a little Sally Carson. I did a little Dorit where I decided, I'm I've always been this platinum blonde. Let me do something different. Let me switch it up. It's giving luxury. It's giving 37 going on 38 instead of 27 going on 28, which I love. I'm trying to embrace. I think the Khloe Kardashian episode on the Kardashians this week, or it was actually last week, but I just watched it this week, where it was the episode for Khloe's 40th birthday. That was inspirational to me. She was really excited about her 40s. Everybody's ranting and raving about their 40s. 40 is the new 30. So as I enter into my 38th year soon, I just feel like the women on reality TV have been really inspirational and supportive on that. I'm not scared now anymore. Maybe I'm about to enter my Kardashian era. So yeah, just so we're caught up, I will be here mostly in New York now, going on our anniversary cruise, coming back to New York. And then after that, luckily, it'll be my birthday. Things will be happening. We're going to Michigan for my 20th high school year reunion. Yes. And I have been watching the OC, Vicky Gunvalson, all of the, season 1 of Real Housewives of Orange County was my freshman year in college. So 20 years ago, I was basically starting this whole new chapter of life. And that's just how long I have been in this world, is truly as a day oneer. And that's why it's so hard for me sometimes when I see these TikTokers, and no shade, but just when I see some of these TikTokers when they're oh yeah, I found Bravo during 2021, 22. I'm where were you in 2006? A lot of you were in elementary school, and that's okay. But I just feel I have really put the work in since day one. And that is why I will never give up on just having this little platform, because I have to have my voice out there. People say it doesn't really matter as long as you've watched it all, you caught up, or you binged. I can imagine just finding Vanderpump Rules 2 years ago and then watching all of it at once. You had to be there. You had to be there the literal day on cable when Lisa was sitting down, Brandy and Sheena, to have that crossover. If you weren't there, you just are not the elite echelon. I'm so strict and picky about the people who get to claim themselves as historians. I know the real ones that are out there, and then I know the ones that just discovered it 4 years ago. That I understand your opinions are still valid, but you just weren't there. So Ramona, sorry. Okay, so before we get into the countdown this week, because I got a nice little list here of things that I haven't got to talk to you guys about yet. Some of these most talked about reality TV moments that have been going on. And one of the things I have to talk about that is not reality TV related, I'm breaking my own number one rule, is that if you have not seen Anora, it is, I always liked Mikey Madison before because she was in a show called Better Things with Pamela Adlon. And that show only had 4 seasons. It's on Hulu. Go watch. It's an FX show. It is a story about a mom with her 3 daughters. And I don't know what it is. Not my usual show. I really do not watch a lot of scripted show, especially not something on FX randomly. But this show got me from episode 1. And I think it's just a really interesting portrayal of a family, an LA family. And Mikey Madsen plays the oldest daughter, and she just always came off like such a brat. Like I knew she was such a good actor. I think she's very nice in real life and very normal and like theater kitty, kind of like theater kid vibes. Almost like a Vanessa Hudgens or something, just like sweet. I think she's just sweet and nice and like, sure, I mean, she obviously is the second youngest person to ever win an Oscar now, or female to ever win an Oscar for that role, something like that. She's an icon. Go watch Better Things is what I'm trying to say, and go watch Anora, because it is a little bit different than I thought, because it was actually, I thought she worked in New York or in Las Vegas and lived and was just like from New York and then like lived in Vegas and like met this guy. And I mean, spoiler alert a little bit, but not really. If you don't want to know anything about it, fast forward like 30 seconds. But I do think that it was a little bit confusing because I thought she was like a stripper that worked in Vegas, but she actually was a stripper that worked in New York and lived in Brooklyn and meets a guy from New York and everything. And then they just fly out to Vegas to get married and then they fly back. So it just was a little bit different than I thought that it was going to be in the movie, which was a little bit of a twist, but like not really, like I said, not really a spoiler. I won't spoil anything else, but just if that sounds interesting to you in any way, I found it thrilling. I was obsessed. I can't believe I sat for 2 hours and 20 minutes straight and watched a movie, which I like never do. So good. Okay. So anyways, getting into my show now. This week, per usual, the format of the show, if it's your first time here, OMG, LOL of the week, 2 moments that I pick out that I just truly OMG, LOL. And then I'll do a top 5 countdown of reality TV's most talked about moments. I mean, we have a few things that like I'm going to try to get to that maybe if I don't run too long, I'll talk about that don't make the countdown. Okay, so let's get right into the episode this week. I want to talk about my OMG, my LOL of the week first. So let's briefly talk about my LOL of the week, which is going to be the entire show of Denise Richards and her wild things. I mean, I watched all 4 episodes of what's available on Peacock now. I'm not sure if just the first 2 have aired on Bravo and if Peacock is just getting like exclusive episodes early, which I'm kind of loving. Oh my gosh, that actually just reminds me quickly just to say that when I heard there was going to be a big announcement, everyone's like, oh, huge announcement coming out of Bravo in April. It's going to be like a huge thing. And then I heard another thing, another blind or something that was like, oh, it's going to be like, we're going to be disappointed when we hear this because it's not going to be what we think it is. And that was like a weird blind. Like, it's like, what does that even mean? And then now it's came out another layer because Heather McDonald on Juicy Scoop and a couple other places I've seen now on TikTok have all rumored to say that Andy's going to be stepping down from Bravo. And I don't even have a reaction to this yet because I don't want to just assume random blinds like that really could be anything, mean anything. Like nothing has been confirmed. Because part of me thinks like this is Andy's everything. He is selling that apartment or his house. I know that's for sale. That's not a good idea. I mean, maybe he's going to Howard Stern it and like move out east in the Hamptons. And maybe he could still do his radio Sirius show from out in the Hamptons. And he's not going to be in the city anymore. I don't know. I'm just really speculating now, but I just really hope that rumor's not true. I don't want to manifest that it is. So even by talking about it and giving it light, I just hope that is not going to be it. We can't lose Andy yet. Andy Cohen raised me. So I really hope that rumor is not true. Okay, so my LOL of the week. Yeah, so Denise Richards, if you're not watching it, I mean, when I originally heard that Denise was doing OnlyFans with her daughter, like for some reason that did really gross me out. I'm not like a huge proponent of the idea of OnlyFans. I think that specifically the episode where she's holding the pans and she's calling it like OnlyPans and like Aaron's taking the picture. Like people are paying for pictures of Denise holding frying pans and wearing cowboy boots. Like I want to know who's buying these pictures. Not that she's not awesome. Like I love Denise Richards. I really do. But like that is just so specific. It's just like Denise Richards, people that are like obsessed with her. Like even if there's like 10,000 people, I don't even know. I really don't know. Sammy Sheen, I feel bad because she has been bullied for looking like Charlie. And I remember so vividly when the Charlie stuff was going on and he was tiger blooding it and he was bringing the hookers to the Thanksgiving. Like I do remember that on the tabloids and him, the tiger blood specifically, and then him admitting that he has HIV on camera and stuff. I mean, things have been going down for Charlie for a while, but I do think that he seems to be like, he's like a dad and he's going to be on the show at some point. I'm not usually like the biggest Tori Spelling fan, but I kind of liked that little scene with her and Denise. They're fun. Loved that she had Erica Jane on and, you know, kind of mended stuff with her, because what I still don't understand, but you know, I'm a little bit of a Dorit apologist, is that when she did the upside down pink furry jacket, like Dorit really did. I mean, of course, she was a little shady coming up to her, but if she's like 3 Belvedere and sodas and lemons in, and then Dorit, you know, Denise's jacket's upside down, and it was the weed dinner. So like maybe Dorit was just feeling something, but Denise was out of her mind. And I think Denise and Dorit were really just, I don't know, they do not like each other. They just did not like each other's energy. And I'm disappointed by that, because I'm Dorit leaning. I didn't really like Denise as much, but I want to get one of the hats, like Bravo merch. I love Bravo merch. I have so much of it. And I'm excited to get more this year at BravoCon, which part of me too is like, how can Andy leave when BravoCon's coming up this year? Like, he's just not going to be at BravoCon. Like, yeah, freaking right. Maybe he would still have that in his contract. Like, is it just going to be Watch What Happens Live is being canceled, which is depressing to me. There's no way that can be true. There's no Bravo without Watch What Happens Live. Like, we have to have these. Are they just going to do the after shows? Oh, God bless. I am spiraling a little bit about this. I really hope that this is not true. So anyways, yeah, Denise Richards show. It's a big LOL. Okay, one random thing that's going on there is that her nephew Al is kind of like the peacemaker, and like Sammy and Lola, the daughters, are always like fighting. Lola is very Christian. I was just not expecting that. I kind of love the juxtaposition of the OnlyFans raver. I was dying when Sammy Sheen was getting ready to go to that rave with her friend, and they came out with their little like furry boot raver outfits on. I was her age when I was doing the exact same thing. And that's why it's so funny to see her. I mean, not OnlyFans, but I was doing the raves and dressing like that. And it's so funny to like see other people do that now. Like, wow, to me, that seems like I did that like a lifetime ago. It's so cute. It's cute to know that the rave culture is alive and well. We need to have the rave culture. Okay, so yeah, little Sammy Sheen, Lola going to church, doing the prayer circles over the little taco night that she's made with her friends. Like, we must protect her at all costs. Protect Lola, whatever it takes. We must protect her. So yeah, I won't give away too much other stuff. Oh yeah, the nephew that's the peacemaker between the sisters, he's always calling everyone beautiful. And it's really sad to me. I know that he struggled with some substance abuse, issues. And Denise said that this is like the longest she's seen him being sober. And that's great. I love that. I always support that. You guys know I'm always Team Carl. That's why Lala, I'm still so mad at her that she went out the way that she did. Because I do think that she's like not as bad, but she left on such a low that it's hard to remember the good sometimes. And what about James and the freaking Tate brothers? How embarrassing for him that he tried to say that he wasn't aware of their content, and for them to respond and say that he just was afraid of the woke mob coming for him, and that they knew exactly, and he was like obsessed and like following them around saying that they were his hero. Can't be having that. He is scary. I know that guy. That guy is scary. So yeah, go watch Denise Richards if you're looking for like a good laugh. Like, there's just so much randomness going on. All of the little cameos that are made. Aaron's not in it that much, but he seems somewhat normal and supportive, even though I know that he is also insane and that he was sued by somebody who died from cancer that went to his clinic. So yeah, there are some questionable things going on, but I'm still here for the lols. So go check that out on Peacock and on Bravo. Okay, let's go over to my OMG of the week. Now, this was something that I did not expect to be so affected by. Was like not looking forward to season 2, just like the way I didn't really look forward to season 1. So season 1, it's not like I was like gagged over it, but I definitely got pretty into it, and I was into all the new characters, and I was happy to see some of the old characters in this new light. So I'm talking about The Valley, and they dropped the trailer on us for season 2, and I have thoughts. Let me think how to like organize this without sounding misogynistic, because I know that being a Jax fan definitely is the first way to get people to be like, okay, I'm not listening to another word that she says. Like, we do not trust her. And I don't just blindly, love Jax. And I'm not like, oh, but he makes good TV. There's just something about him that like, I do root for. I do think that he isn't afraid to have conversations on TV. I do think that, him coming forward and admitting that he has this cocaine addiction and that he has been using for over 20 years or, close to that. I mean, I obviously wasn't shocked. Like everybody knew that, but I do think it was scary for him to come out and say that. And I do think that he knew it was going to come out this season anyway, so he is getting ahead of it. But just in the way that I looked at Carl, just in the way that, I tried to look at James being like, okay, listen, we know that you guys are using these substances and that this is what's going on here, especially in the summer house too. Like all of these shows, it's on their charm. I mean, Craig's talked about being an Adderall addict and allegedly, I'm sure it wasn't just Adderall. I think everybody is using all these substances and it is a real part of real life. It is everywhere, especially if you're in New York. And I just think it is refreshing to see people talking about it on TV, even with Emmy on Southern Hospitality. Like, I can't believe, first of all, sidebar, that Will did not show up to the reunion. Like, he better be fucking fired. He better not get to ever show his face, or they better like blur him out if he shows up on camera or something. Like, how disrespectful. Truly, I'm shocked that happened and that they allowed that to happen. But when it comes to the Valley, I really am trying to say I just appreciate Jax. I'm glad that he came clean. I'm glad that he's attempting to be sober. I mean, he posted that he was 100 days sober not too many days ago. So why don't we just support him? Brittany using this as an opportunity to like get lower and take more digs and make it about her. Like, I'm not the biggest Brittany fan. I think that she knew exactly who she married. I hate when people say, you can't help who you fall in love with. You actually totally can help who you fall in love with. That's like what setting boundaries and setting standards and knowing your worth and having self-respect is about. Like, you met Jax in the club in Vegas after he had already been on 2 seasons of reality TV. You knew exactly who he was. You pretended like you didn't watch the show, which was a lie. Zach even confirmed that you guys watched it with Sherry. Even your mom watched it. Then you come on the show, you make it on, you still marry him after he cheats on you with Faith, which is like the original scandal. That would be like if Ariana stayed with Tom. Like, you stayed with him just because you wanted to get married. I'm sure you didn't want to leave LA. You didn't want to leave the show. It's the easiest paycheck in the world to just have a camera on and be yourself. And all we're asking for is just a little bit of reflection, growth, evolution. I don't know. They're both living in 2016 to me, and I'm going to need them to like get with the picture. I feel so bad for little Cruz. He is absolutely adorable. I don't usually even like want to talk about the kids, but Jax did say that that's the reason why he decided to get sober, is because him and Brittany were fighting in the car and like the baby was in the back seat. Like, that is so sad, but that is so real. And Brittany is also, equally as responsible for staying with him, enabling him, choosing to have a baby with him. We saw her just last season in season 1 of The Valley, trying to have another baby with him, talking about date nights, wanting to have another kid with him. Like, she was she knew a year ago, whenever that was filmed last year, like she knew then. She wasn't surprised now. This has been going on for a long time, before her, with her, and after her. So when it comes to this season, I can only take so much Jax and Brittany, but I'm hoping that because Jax does go to rehab, he won't be in every episode. And we'll see, hopefully, Brittany just whatever, do her thing. Now, Luke Van Gogh and Kristen get engaged. She looks genuinely shocked. So I think that was a real moment, and that was some more authentic reality TV that we like to see. I think that I don't know when she's due. Like, let's check out when Kristen is due, because sometimes I got to know my facts here. Like, who else Googles Kristen Doty due date? Just me. Okay, she's due in June. Oh my gosh. If she has a June Cancer baby, Dossie is a June Cancer baby. Oh my gosh, I'm excited. I'm excited for her. I hope that they get married. Her name will be Kristen Broderick. That's actually a cute name. I don't know if she'd ever change her name, if it would be like hyphenated Doty Broderick. I also have a soft spot for Kristen and Doty. I talk about this, or Kristen and Jax, all the time because they're from Michigan. So am I. We're all Michigan blood. Okay, wow. It says that they use IUI, which I did not know that. I thought that they just got pregnant naturally, but they use IUI. which is crazy. Okay, excited for them. Okay, we know it's a girl, right? Yes, we do. Oh, so there's a lot of little baby girls that came into the Bravo sphere. Okay, so that was really my OMG of the week was the Valley trailer and Jack's talking about his cocaine addiction. I mean, what else goes on in the trailer that really had my jaw on the floor was the fact that Jesse and Luke apparently say that they have evidence that Michelle is sleeping with a billionaire for $1,500 a night. And again, no shade to sex work. I don't think that that's what this is. I mean, people forget that last season, Michelle did admit that she cheated on Jesse. I just do not condone cheating ever, female or male. This is not a misogynistic thing. This is just, I don't want anyone to cheat. I don't think it's okay for girls to cheat and guys cheat. It's not a gender thing. It's not a gender thing. It is a being a shitty person thing. So don't cheat. Don't be a cheater and just get divorced and wait. And just like on the Married at First Sight reunion, finally we saw the finale. I mean, obviously, we all know what went down there. If you are a Married at First Sight fan, Madison and David, I never want to see them again. Like, I do kind of want a little spinoff. Like, I want to keep following Michelle and Carla on their dating journey. I want to see Madison and David, even though I hate them, I want to hate watch them. And I want to see them like fight and break up because eventually like their little honeymoon story has got to come to an end. Nobody stays like that fake and perfect all the time. Plus, they're very aware of the cameras and we know how much they lie. Ew, that part when they were on the reunion and they were all backstage with like the little, like the mic, like the backstage mics on, when he called her muffin and then was like, hey, Barbie. Ew. Did anyone else throw up in their mouth when that happened? Like, I'm going to post a clip of that to my Instagram. Like, I have to document that moment. Was so cringe. I hated that. I hate them, but I want to keep watching them. I would like to see Alan get like his girlfriend on the show. Like, I don't know, check in with them. Camille and Thomas, I'm so happy they stayed together. I want to keep following them. I like that Camille really is like friends with the girls. They all have like authentic friendships. Carla, I know Juan was in some drama. Juan was in some drama recently, responding to trolls and so responding to a lot of people's comments and Reddit threads about him like clearing his name recently because people were saying that he wasted Carla's time. And he didn't. He was like, it was a social experiment. I wanted to see like who I would get matched with and what this would be like. And I just didn't have a romantic connection with her. Like he was like, I love Carla, wish her the best. So yeah, I don't think there's really like any scandal there. And he's just sick of the trolls. Okay. Because he did like an entrepreneur, like people were like voting for his entrepreneur or his business or some kind of an award or something. And he wanted everyone to vote for him. And people were going and like being rude and like commenting like bad things about him. Like trolls stand down from Juan. Juancho's okay. Okay. God, he was respectful all season. We can't just hate every single man and want every single man to die and like not be successful. Like we've got to get over this. Like we live on the planet with men. Yes. Okay. A lot of them suck, but a lot of them are just doing their best. All right. I don't think that they're all like malicious. So we've got to just relax to quit vilifying every single man just for existing. I think that is so toxic. Like, that leads me to my number 5 most talked about moment of the week. So let's just roll right over into that. We're going to talk about the Traitors finale. We got the end of the Traitors. It was so, so good. I really was obsessed with it. I was so happy that the Faithfuls won. Even though last year Faithfuls won, it felt like Traitors won because of what CT and Trishelle did to MJ. And it was like such an icky feeling everybody had after the reunion and the finale. Like it was just low vibrational. And this season was so much better. Like ending on a high. Nobody turned on each other in the end. Like fourth Faithfuls won. I mean, Dolores did not deserve to win. They probably should have had a moment there. I'm sure producers tried to get them to have a moment there that would, again, be more of a wave that it would send. I think they were all kind of like, okay, guys, like you're literally only going to get $50,000. Like after taxes, probably like 25. Why don't you just try to create some drama from this at least and like give everybody a show? And they did it. They split the money. And it was Ivar too, which I think that they could have all easily been able to turn on and banned like Gabby and Dylan. Dylan constantly going for Gabby ruined it because if they would have banded together, I think that they and Dolores could have then created like the numbers to go to the end together, getting Brittany out. Ivar, they could have like immediately turned on and killed. And then they should have also put way more pressure. I don't know. They should have just put way more pressure on getting out like more people before the end. But I think Danielle was just really running the show. And again, not my favorite traitor. I think I liked her a little bit better after the reunion. I don't like stan Carolyn the way everyone else does. I think she gives me toxic energy. And I know that that is a very unpopular opinion, but I appreciate her for who she is and being authentic, but I can only take her in small doses. Like, I'm not going to say I'm like fully not a fan of her, but I just am like, okay. And then whatever she was caught on that hot mic talking about Sheena, and then also her liking Tom and being like a Tom stan. Like, if you stan Sandoval, like, I'm definitely side-eyeing you. Like, you got to educate yourself on this man. You want to talk about men we should be hating and not uplifting? Like, how are we? I won't get back into a Sandoval rant. I did that last episode, but I'm not supporting it. So anyways, Dolores, okay, great. Gabby, I love, but I did not like her Watch What Happens Live appearance. I was really disappointed by it. A couple different things. One, I know it's live TV. Maybe she was nervous because I loved her in Traitors. Like, I really didn't get annoyed with her at all. And I've been watching her since she was on Clayton's season. I'm an OG Gabby Wendy knower and fan. I watched every single episode of her and Rachel's Bachelorette season. I followed up with her on social media always after. I've always loved her and Robbie Hoffman's relationship. I'm so glad that they got married. I know about Gabby. And I'm just so shocked that she would go and watch What Happens Live. And like, I low-key thought she was disrespectful to Andy, which you guys know I'm very protective of him. And the way that when they did the Dylan Efron game, when they were like, oh, are these Dylan's abs? Like, this is a classic game. At least it wasn't, is this Dylan's bulge? Because Andy's played that before too, especially with like John Hamm and stuff, being like, is this, like, he's like, whose crotch is this? Like, this isn't Andy Cohen production. And it is also late night TV, and it's like fucking have a drink and relax and like giggle a little bit on the show, and not everything's so serious. I just felt like she was really coming for any time that they even said the word man. It was like she was going to be like, why are we talking about men? I hate men. I'm a lesbian. And it's like, we know, babe. You cannot make being a lesbian like literally your entire personality. You can be multifaceted. We can be talking about other things. We can be still able to, yep, even though we hate men and you're a lesbian, they still have to exist. Like, we can't just, every time one shows up, we can't just like be like, smack it away. It's like, okay, can we all please try to coexist? And I love Gabby, but I just felt like that was weird to be like, I'm not playing this game. I'm not looking at abs. I don't want to look at Dylan. I don't want to talk about men and their bodies. I don't want to, it's like, okay, we know. Just please. And even Andy was like, okay, Gabby does not want to play this game anymore. Let's wrap it up. And she just like, I don't know, brought the vibe down for me. And I thought she was trying way too hard to be like a pick me lesbian. And okay, Traitors finale. I loved the reunion. Bob the drag queen is absolutely hilarious. Like, I officially do stand the fuck out of him after that reunion. I thought that he just was the star of the show. I loved his look. I loved the blood on his hands and his face. I was living for all of it. I thought him and Boston Rob going back and forth and acknowledging and like having no beef, love. I love Boston Rob. I feel like I was getting, so I loved the finale. I loved the reunion. Didn't love Gabby on Watch What Happens Live so much. Still love her. Want her to get paid her money, but nobody got paid. It's not like she's the only one who didn't get paid. There's a process, I'm sure. And then, yeah, that just brings me to the bigger point of like women just playing like a caricature of themselves, like Paige now. She's got like this shtick. Every time she's on camera, she's doing it. Sierra too is taking all her notes from Paige, basically just doing whatever Paige does, finding like a shtick and like almost being like scripted when the camera's on. Like, no, can we just be normal, be ourselves? That's where I will give it to Lindsay. Like, she does not, I don't think, come with like rehearsed lines, and like she's able to be different in different groups of people. And she's not just like playing a role of herself. So I will give her that. I posted a clip of Danny Pellegrino agreeing with me that we cannot have Lindsay on these reality TV shows, talking about her being on Roni, talking about her being on Summer House still. Like, she can't be on there if she's not sharing the man. I know that everyone's like, oh, well, his job doesn't allow him. Then, okay, then they can't do this then. We can't do this. Something needs to change. Something needs to change there. I don't know what it could be. I don't know what exactly the laws are of him being in finance and not being able to film. Like, they said that there's like a strict rule, but I need them to find where like gray area is in the contracts and like do something. Even if it's them, like if he's, like I said, he has to be on there and like they blur his face. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but there is drama there that like I need to know about. I need to know why Lindsay and Turner are not really living together. I need to know why they're not engaged. People are like, it's because they've only been dating. No, it's been a year. It's been a year and she's the mother of her child and they don't live together. Like there is drama there. Like if we're not going to talk about this, because it's not Lindsay's choice. Lindsay has to do that. If it was up to Lindsay, 1,000% they would live together. That is like, who doesn't want that? If she actually is in love with this man, 100%. When she's like, oh, we're doing the right thing and we're taking it slow. No. She's never done the right thing. She's never taken it slow. This man just actually has the power dynamic figured out in this relationship where he's like, nah, we're not just doing what you say and you don't hold this power over me. I'm not doing this. And that's it. End of story. And I think that's a big reason probably why they're not moving forward. Anyways, I love to just speculate a little bit about Lindsay. All right. So anyways, I don't want people just playing like characters of themselves. Like we need to have real storylines going on. Like we got to have real storylines going on. Okay. So that kind of like leads me into my number 4, most talked about moment of the week. We've talked about all the lies that are going on Southern Charm. Because there's a lot of things and there's a lot of stuff floating around and I'm just disappointed because I don't really know how the reality TV stars are dictating the narratives that they are bringing onto the shows. Like the producers are not working hard enough. The network is not allowing, I don't know. There's something going on. There's just something going on with this that I need to get to the bottom of. So the first thing about this is Shep in this Sienna situation and like what the truth is about this. Because I think, delusionally, I think that Shep really did meet this girl on Raya. They started a relationship. They went on several trips. I posted the photo receipts of them doing things together off camera before they started filming. Even the first time she appears on camera, they seem to be on good terms, coming into town, going to the dog birthday party for Rodrigo. I mean, that, and then for Leva to be in the after show and saying that Sienna was there going, hey, Leva, like everyone wants to come down to the Bahamas. We got to make this like a girls trip. Like you got to help me like get the guys like not come so that we can just make this like a girls trip. Like she was trying to just be friends with the girls. She was trying to just get on the show. She was using Shep. It's like so clear to me. Now, Shep, I do believe really had real feelings for her and was like, oh my God, this girl's like, how is she so into me? She's amazing. Like, this is insane, but he didn't want to fumble it. And I do think he was like, okay, we're going to go to the Bahamas. We're going to do the cast trip. Like, I'm going to fly you out. We're going to like get you embedded in this friend group because he knows like whoever's going to date him has to be willing to film. And look at him and Taylor. Like they were a huge fixture of the show when they were together. And then his other dating escapades, even between Danny and Chelsea, like things going on down there. There was just a lot of entanglements. So we needed him to be showing everything. Sienna's like, okay, down to film. Then we find out that she like was maybe dating other people, is a bit of somebody who's looking to date people that are like somewhat famous, like, professional athletes, reality TV stars. I don't know, just people along the line of just things like this. And there are just certain people that are like, hey, that's what I want. Like, I need to be living that first class life. Like, get me whatever. Shep's like, she asked me to buy a $10 million house. Like, Shep comes from old money. He comes from literal railroad money, I think. He is different. He's wealth. He's not rich. He's not like, he's probably just got a trust fund that has, I think, $10 million in it. So, and when I told you guys, like when my husband told me that you can actually live off of $1 million, I was like, what? That changed everything for me. So if he's got multi lifetimes worth of money, then yeah, he doesn't need to like, he's like, I drive a Buick. He's not flashy. He's not buying girls expensive things. Like he lives in a world of like, I'm never going to work and I'm just going to like live off of my trust forever. So it's a different vibe with him. Versus other people who sometimes have new money where they spend it right away and everything now is about like the come up. So anyways, okay. So that is one kind of thing that's going on with like, I need to know the truth. I need to see the reunion. I never want to see Sienna again. I made like a funny thing about her being cast on the next season of Traitors. And some people were like, no. And I'm like, it's a joke. It was a joke. I do not want her to be on Traitors. I think that she just is a traitor to Shep. And I think she totally did use him. And I'm so bummed out that, not that I'm like a Shep apologist or anything, but I just am like, damn girl, like don't be infiltrating our reality TV shows and decades of friendships just for you to have like a moment, please. And I'm glad everybody else, including Madison, was like never into it, was like, please, especially Craig being like, she's obviously an opportunist. Like she's just here to be on the show. Like she's not into Shep at all. Like we're not going to give her the time of day. I don't know. I kind of loved it. Now, one person that's been kind of letting me down a little bit is Sally, because Sally, I also followed from the Bachelor days. And then I kind of like loved when she popped on to Southern Hospitality for that one season. And I was like, oh, yay, I'm happy to see Sally back like on my screen. And I was liking her being in Charleston and kind of working her way onto the shows. I was totally here for it. And then ever since she came on to Southern Charm this season, she just is really, I find her to be really mean. And then I also kind of heard that she was MAGA. And now I'm like, I don't know. I can't like look at her the same right now. And I'm not saying that I can't enjoy somebody entertaining me that is of different political beliefs than me, because I can understand that. But it's not that. She's giving me like one-sided, unable to see perspective, kind of like, I don't know if it's not self-aware, if it's like a self-awareness thing. I'm not sure what exactly it is yet, but there's something driving me a little bit crazy about Sally right now. One thing is that she's like really online chirping on and on about protecting Vanita in this Vanita versus JT situation, because Vanita now has had several receipts pulled on her from JT proving I told her about the girlfriend that I had when we were filming. She still continued to pursue me. Then in the latest episode, asking him to go to this like social with her, end of season social. It's like her +1 and be her date. He's like, again, I have a girlfriend. I don't think that she would like that. Like, I'm getting the vibe that Vanita was using JT for the storyline. And I know that's going to be unpopular. And I know people are going to be like, oh my God, how can you say that? That's so misogynistic. But it's not. And then especially the part where the barber now is saying that JT was making like a racist tone towards Vanita, and he has to call the barber with Lava on the picnic table and clear his name. And Ryan is the one that relayed that to Vanita, and Ryan doesn't even come to the reunion. This is too much for me. Like, this is too much for me. I need to know what the fucking truth is. It better come out of the reunion. Molly had a boyfriend while filming and pretending to be into shot. Another thing, kept off of camera. Like, we're not getting reality TV. This is starting to give like the Hills vibes, where it's like, okay, let's just do a storyline and everybody shows up and like, this is the topic that we're talking about, and like, don't stray from the storyline. It's kind of like Beverly Hills, to right now. It's like, okay, there's just like one through line and there's not a lot of dynamics going on. So, okay. Anyways, that was my number 3 most talked about moment of the week, or my number 4, sorry, was the Southern Charm lies and figuring out what the truth is. And really the moment that I found out that Ryan wasn't at the reunion after making his comments. Like, where are you? You were in the Bahamas. You were at the men's dinner at Patricia's. You've been filming with these guys for weeks. Like, why not come to the reunion? JT can come to the reunion. You can come to the reunion. So yes. Anyways, okay, let's go on to my number 3 most talked about moment of the week. So I've gone on and on kind of about this for a little while, but I want to touch back about this and just kind of remind everybody where I stand, because it's hard for me sometimes to be defending certain people online when they aren't understanding that, like, I was there during Summer House season 5 when Hannah went off the rails and then had Des come in and have sex all over Kyle and Amanda's bathroom. And that is so disgusting. Really freaks me out. And the whole thing being blamed again, this started the whole war and the whole Giggly Squad, and how this is all, I think Giggly Squad like ruined a lot of the fandom for both of these shows for me, which is such a bummer, because it's like, we cannot just be having like giggler stands that do not understand Paige and Hannah in the context of Summer House. If I don't know, you just don't get to have an opinion. I don't know. It's just, you're just not allowed to have it. If you only know them from Giggly Squad, you cannot be commenting on anything to do with Summer House. So please go back and watch it to fully be able to form your opinion. Now, Hannah being on this Oscars, Vanity Fair, red carpet with Paige, and them never letting anybody else talk, talking over everybody, cutting everybody off, saying random things about themselves. Like, they're supposed to be talking to other people. A point of an interview is for you to ask them questions and for them to have a chance to express themselves. We're getting to know them. Like, we're here to see them. You should be like 10% of the talking. So, I mean, I 100% am willing to bet that they will not be back ever on that carpet again. I looked at all the comments under the actual Oscars Vanity Fair Instagram comments on the actual account. They were not good. I don't think I actually saw one positive one. It was so inundated with negative reviews. So I have to say, I mean, I saw that coming from a mile away. I was actually on here talking about Hannah the week before that happened, being like, do not trust this girl. She is shady. And here we are. Microaggressions, going for my girl, Meg Thee Stallion. Like, that is my girl. So beyond that, Paige is in this other fight with Kyle on Summer House about being called Two-Face and being in the middle of Hannah and Amanda. Now, Amanda hates Hannah because Hannah and Kyle hate each other. To be honest, Hannah and Amanda were like never really that close. Like, they were kind of friends, but Hannah was always closer with Paige, and they were way more cliquey against Amanda. And they were always, I mean, Amanda and Kyle are very annoying together in the Summer House, but that is part of Summer House to me. And I'm glad they're getting like a little bit better of an edit this season. We like really needed a break from that because it's been truly going on since season 1. Again, if you have not gone back and watched Summer House since season 1, GTFO. You have got to go back and watch all of this to understand truly what the hell's been going on with these people for the last 9 seasons. So Amanda, I have very little sympathy for. It's the same way I feel about Brittany. You knew exactly who this man was, and you pushed to get married. He was cheating on you before you were married. You still got married. I'm not saying that they should be able to cheat, but they have to take a little bit of responsibility for being like, I turned a blind eye. I'm a fucking idiot. Staying together. Now I accept responsibility and I'm not going to complain about it anymore. And we're going to just be happy because you don't get to complain the whole time you're together too. And like I hate that Paige has worn off so much. She's got Sierra now to just hate men and be like, ugh, every time a man's around. Then she's got every other girl doing this. Hannah's doing it. Even though Hannah's married, she's always like, men suck, blah. It's like and then Gabby, it's like overload. All of these girls it's giving me exhaustion from this stuff. It's like overcorrecting. And everybody has the same personality. Like Paige, even Amanda is like, ugh, men, ugh, gross. Like every time Kyle touches her, she's like, ugh. It's like, okay, this is your husband. Like, can we please? Okay, I'm so glad Paige is single. I really want her to talk about if she tries to pretend like this boyfriend of hers does not exist, especially next season, if somehow she ends up back. I don't think she's going to. But if she is back in the Summer House next season, if she does not talk about the boyfriend, acknowledge the boyfriend, and she pretends he doesn't exist and she acts like she's single, I will die. I will die. I will riot Bravo headquarters. But I just think it's crazy, that whole situation. Hannah, Paige is, again, being complicit in this, never commenting on it, never being like, I tried to tell her that was a bad joke. Like, just say something. Say something. This week I'm having some of these Costa Rican chocolate-covered espresso beans. That is what this show is brought to you by, your ad for the week. Okay, let's move on to my number 2 most talked about moment of the week. I'm so glad this girl is back on my screen. As soon as I saw the beginning of the season 2 premiere, I immediately just got that feeling. It's truly a rush. It's like a rush of adrenaline to see Gypsy Rose, Life After Lockup season 2 premiere back on my screen. Season 1, I had to go back and watch. No notes. It is the greatest inaugural season of a show, a reality TV show, maybe since Jersey Shore. Like, there's just things that come along that like change the game and are like the gold standard. And Gypsy Rose she is a reality TV star. I'm so happy Gypsy has a show. Like, we need everyone to be watching this. We need this to never get canceled. I was just talking about this the other day. I need her to go as long as the Kardashians. Like, I need 25 seasons pre-ordered, slotted. Let's go. Cameras up year round. I don't care. She's done her time. She is free now. She's still on parole, which is why her and Ken can't live together. But we can never, ever, ever let this girl leave our screens because she is just a natural. There's no other way to describe it than just like the delusion, like the grandeur is off the charts. Like, every single thing she thinks that she is like Gypsy Rose Kardashian. She gives me like her inability to see herself again. Like, it's like that self-awareness, like it does not exist. There is no mirror. She's unable to reflect on her own behavior. It's not even on her radar. Like, she doesn't even care to think about it or be introspective. She just looks at life through almost like it is really childlike. It is fantasy. It is a fantasy land. So we have the season 2 premiere, and I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, Ken, we know obviously Ken's going to be a big part of it. He's in the trailer a lot. I mean, we all know that she's pregnant with Ken's baby. They're not engaged. They don't live together, but we're checking in with where they are in this process. For those of you that didn't watch season 1, like, truly, what are you doing? Please go back and watch it. It's available on Peacock now. It's only 8 episodes. It's not a huge commitment. Like, just go watch it. But Ryan, her ex-husband, and her adopted this dog, Pixie, that when Gypsy got pregnant with Ken and moved out and got divorced from Ryan, she just abandoned Pixie and left Pixie with Ryan to go have babies with Ken and like never even looked back at the dog. And Ryan is obsessed with Pixie now. And like, I need them to have a spinoff show. We need Ryan and Pixie to have a 24/7 like Big Brother live cam. Like, I just need to see them hanging out together. And I can watch Ryan sit on his couch and talk for at least 4 hours a week. I would love to see a nightly Monday through Thursday show of Ryan just on his couch talking. That man is just a natural, again, reality TV star. Like, nobody like him. So open and honest, authentic. Shares it all. So I'm so happy that he's going to be part of season 2 too. So we've got Ken now, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, Ken's going to be a big part of this show. They're going to definitely do like a redemption arc for him, or he's going to get like a really good edit because they're probably going to want to show Gypsy in like this good light because she's pregnant, and they're going to want us to like Ken. And boy, was I wrong. Ken is inherently evil. He, even when the camera is on and he's aware of it, is an actual dick. Like, he is rude, dismissive, undermining, gaslighting. I mean, just straight up mean to Gypsy. And Gypsy gets so physically uncomfortable whenever he snaps at her or makes a remark to her or puts her down. And she like squirms and she makes crazy noises because she gets so uncomfortable that she's so funny to me when she gets a little like, and she like makes some like crazy different like noises. Ken, even when he knows that he's being filmed, is so insane. They go to dinner. I can't remember what they're celebrating, but they go to dinner. Mind you, Gypsy is pregnant, and she also doesn't have it. Like, Ryan would try to go to sushi last season, and she would just get like chicken teriyaki, which is nothing wrong with that. But she's not like even into eating like sushi and like fish and stuff like that. She really has a hard time with it. So they're going on this date, and Ken is ordering octopus. He's ordering crab salad. And he's publicly shaming her. He's telling her that she's scared. He's getting annoyed with her. He's like, I'm frustrated with this. He tells the waiter that he is, yes, like shaming her and making fun of her on purpose. And the waiter even is like, no, that's not cool. Like, that does not usually work. Like, it made me so uncomfortable to watch. There was also a little thing that I don't know if anybody really like caught this, but Gypsy goes to the bathroom. She starts crying over the fact that Ken's making her get this disgusting food and eat it. And she wants nothing to do with it. And she's pregnant. She's probably starving, and she's probably expecting to have like a nice date night, and he's being a total dick to her. She goes to the bathroom and she's crying. When she's walking back, he takes his phone. He turns it upside down really fast. And then he takes his phone and completely, he's like, he puts it upside down and he takes it and hides it like down on the chair underneath. That was shady as hell. Like, I need to know, what the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? Because is he cheating? Is he talking to somebody else? Is he scheming? Is he using Gypsy? Is he clout chasing? Is he just trying to, I don't know what. I do not know what is going on with this. Now, the most sinister scenes of Gypsy and Ken are when he's in that Jeep. That Jeep is possessed. Every time he gets in that Jeep, they get into a very weird conversation. It has a very bad energy in there. The one part where Gypsy confronts him a little bit and is like, oh yeah, you're always in the comments and you're always up late reading comments and you're always on your phone. And she's like, if I didn't trust you so much, I would think that behavior's shady. Like, that's the first conversation. That's like the opening scene of season 2. Then they get into all these other arguments where just like they have that Jeep cam and Ken's like driving the stick shift. They keep zooming in on his face and it's just giving, I don't know. It's giving really scary vibes. He is not getting a good edit, and it's going to be very interesting to watch the rest of the season. I don't know what the hell is going on. So, okay. So again, the premiere of Gypsy Rose, my number 2 most talked about moment. I'm glad everybody's online talking about that public food shaming and then him being a dick to her at the dinner. I need there to be, I don't know, Gypsy got that haircut. She got that little Karen haircut. I don't understand like what is going on with their relationship. I just do not get it. I just don't get it. I can't even put an idea together about it. Why she was ever even into him. Was he always this mean to her before and we just didn't see it? I mean, the whole thing about still to this day about how he's saying, oh, I only broke up with Gypsy back when she was still in prison because I wanted like better for her. And I wanted her to, like, when Gypsy's they're in the couples therapy session in the first episode, you know, Ken and Gypsy are. And she's talking about how, social media affects them and how whenever she tries to confront him, she wants him to communicate better. And I think like she's saying it without saying it, that he is really mean to her behind, off camera also. And it's not just for the camera and it's not just for the show. I think she's trying to say that he is like that. But what I don't understand is because they only spoke on the phone before and when she was in prison, like, was that just a friendship that whole time? And then they got physical together when she got out of prison. Like, did he trap her? Did Ken trap her? Because he was the one that wrote her in prison, sought her out. When she got out of prison, she was married to Ryan. He reached out to her. Gypsy cheats on Ryan with Ken, gets pregnant, gets divorced from Ryan, and now she has Ken's baby. And now we're seeing the real Ken. Maybe was that whole persona that he put on while she was in prison just to like get her to come out and be with him afterwards. And then he trapped her so that he could get like her money for real. Because even though to us it's like, oh my God, it can't be that much. But to them, to Ken, this has got to be like, even if it's $250,000 or something that he gets from the show or being married to her, like that's going to be a huge thing for him. Now the baby, he's got to really realize that he's a dad now. But I, for some reason, have a feeling that he's just going to like not. He's either just going to be like a deadbeat dad or he's going to just move away somewhere and he'll like keep in touch with the daughter, but like not be with Gypsy. All I know is, again, never have cameras down on her because just the way that she talks, the way that she dresses, the way that she is trying to portray herself, the whole thing that she's trying to put on about her life is just a very interesting thing. And that's what reality TV should be. Interesting. Like what makes us want to watch these people and learn more about them is by them showing their real life, because that's what's compelling to us, not some like scripted BS caricature of herself. So Gypsy never changed. Okay, so that was my number 2 most talked about moment of the week. And moving right on to my number 1 most talked about moment of the week. Now, this is something that you could not scroll on your phone with. Every single cube, every single story was talking about this. I'm talking about Tamra quitting Real Housewives of Orange County. I mean, that little pink square in the create mode with the white text, I do those too. I get it. But the moment she announced that, I panicked because at first I was like, no, fuck, like she let them win. Girl, I was like rooting for you. I've been telling everybody like you can't, she's going to stand up to them. She's going to have the fight in her. And then for her to be like, okay, well, when real life shit is going on, all this reality stuff does not matter anymore, which is totally true. And I completely believe that. And I think everything going on with Teddy for sure is what is affecting her and making her say that. Like, my best friend is dying of cancer, fighting with Gretchen about something that happened 16 years ago or whatever on the show. So I do understand where Tamra's coming from. But what I don't understand is, again, like the contract situation, because you cannot just quit. Just like not going to the reunion and not showing up for filming and all this other stuff. Like you can't just quit. You can't just have a bad day and like quit the show. So I understand that she was under a lot of pressure, but she should have quit in the moment, I think, and been like, okay, I'm quitting the show. I'm leaving New Orleans. But posting the Instagram story and then replying in the comments and going on to talk about it and basically confirming on her social media that she's like not filming. She's in Big Bear with Eddie right now. She's like not with the group. I mean, it's clear to me that she's not going to be quitting the show and that Bravo is going to give her a week off, just like they gave Kyle Richards when she quit the show this season too. When she stormed out of Bose's party in that bathrobe, she allegedly quit the show that day. And then producers had to work a week to get her back to filming because you can't just quit the show. You're going to break your contract. You're going to get sued. You're going to fuck the whole show up. And Bravo will not allow that to happen no matter what is going on in the episode. But I don't know. I really don't know what to think about this with Tamra, because part of me was like, okay, no, girl, you can't quit. I'm rooting for you. You've got to hold it down. Like, go back and fight Gretchen. Like, take this bitch down. And then part of me too was like, good, quit. Like, so many of the fucking trolls will not stop hating on her. She like cannot win. There's nothing she can do or say. Like, it's over for her. She might as well just quit. And then just shut everybody up and then just see how the season plays. And it'll be just like when Kenya got fired. Everybody's like, where the fuck's Kenya? Which kind of brings us over to the Real Housewives of Atlanta premiere. I didn't really get to put that on my list because I had so many things I wanted to talk about and like try to rank this this episode, but the Real Houses of Atlanta premiere, the other part that was going to be my LOL of the week, if I could do 2 LOLs, I would have chose Shamia just in general. She had me laughing out loud during that premiere, and she really, her little facial expressions and the little way that she's like, in her confessional, and she's like, no, like I love the way that she is on camera, and I'm living for her being a peach this season, and I can't wait to see more out of the Atlanta season. I'm excited for it, and I will definitely be watching and talking about it. But same with Tamra. It's like, okay, you try to take Portia out, you fire her, and then she's back. It's like, I just am sick of Tamra leaving and coming back because the show does need her. She's a necessary evil, and she keeps things going. And I think even with Rinna, like she was also kind of crazy. Producers should have just worked better with her to like form her a little bit so that she wasn't such a loose cannon and being so, abrasive, kind of like how Tamra can be too. Like a lot of people don't like her approach to things, but she is just on there trying to say what the things are that nobody will say on camera, because we cannot have these manufactured storylines. We can't just have like, oh, everything's perfect and roses when there's a lot of drama and shit going on underneath the surface. Like things have got to come to the light. So I understand that we like Jen Pedranti, but it doesn't mean that we shouldn't have talked about all the shit going on with Ryan. It made for great TV. I understand that we want Gretchen back, but I don't think that we have to have one or the other. Why don't we find a way for them to kind of get back to a good friendship together? And maybe they can forgive each other for the past and start fresh. Like that would be compelling TV for me. We can't just have these like wars going on forever. I don't think Tamra quit. I think that I would have loved if she did, because again, I would love the conversation of just like seeing it end. But she's got Watch What Happens Live to do. She's got things to do. She's going to find ways to like clear the air and come back to this. But I think that obviously whatever is going on with filming and whatever happened in New Orleans, like there was scenes and those spoilers of Shannon and Gretchen and Tamra being together for like a few different scenes. So there's obviously something going on there. Now there's another, again, rumor that Katie was filming Shannon having meltdowns, and that there's a war kind of between Katie, Gretchen, and Jen against Shannon and Tamra and Heather and the rest of the crew. Now, Gina and Emily seem to just be like neutral in all of this still. I actually would like both of them to leave the show, or just have Emily stay, I guess, if we must. But I don't think Tamra's really going anywhere, you guys. That was my number one most talked about moment, though. That was huge breaking news when she quit, and everybody was talking about it and speculated on it. And I just officially was like, you know what? I actually am glad that I waited to comment on it, because she is not going anywhere. It's very clear. She will be back filming, I'm sure, by the end of the week, next week. And there will be a sit down that happens and some kind of breakthrough, and they're going to be probably talking about Teddy. Maybe Teddy will even film for the show. Maybe it's filming now. It's still developing. Like so many things could happen. So I'm hoping to see where this goes. I really do. I would like Teddy to be an official friend of and be sharing her story with what's going on with Tamra. So yeah, that was my roundup, you guys. I had to just get on here and just ramble. I've been seeing so much going on, again, especially about the Vanita thing with JT and him posting the Venmo receipts of him, paying her back, and where the lies are with her. Like, what is going on with that? What is going on with that? I need to know. I need to know what the truth is and why Vanita is doubling down in the media and why Sally is having her back so hard when they know that she's lying. Like, there's got to be some accountability held. They just have an alliance. I don't know what it is. I mean, do we think Madison's going to be back too, if she's going to be a mom, or she's just going to be like a friend of, if the guys come over to do like little sip and sees? What is the future of Madison going to look like on the show? Because even though Brett hates being on TV, he does it. He talked about his freaking cancer journey. Like, we can't get Turner to even sign off, at least so we can see Gemma. I would say that's where the compromise is. Okay, Turner, you never have to be on the show, but can you at least sign off then for Gemma to be on the show, so that if Lindsay can film, the baby can be on the show too, so she can at least be together with Gemma? Justice for Gemma. Okay, you guys, I will leave you there. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please make sure you're following me, rating me, reviewing me. Please leave me something positive, because I really could use it right now. I'm going to be here again, recording with you as much as possible. Thank you so much for sticking with me and being here. Even if you just want to leave a comment on how cute my new hair is, please leave me something positive. Even if you hate my show, just leave a positive review, keep it cute, and make sure you go and comment and engage with my social media, please, and share my memes. Okay, love you guys. Leave you with that. Have a great rest of your week. Ciao, Bellas.